All righty, here we go. Welcome everybody to another episode of Hobby CNC with Dave. Hope y'all doing well. As you can tell from my attire, we've been having some crazy weather. Monday it was, well, I'll say cold. It was cold to me. And then yesterday it got up pretty decent. It was short sleeve t-shirt weather, and today it's back cool again. So
Yeah.
supposed to get down to 45, I think, tonight. So never know how to dress, at least for a few more weeks, I guess. So anyhow, Paul, what can you tell us that will make us happy?
Well, I'm working on my granddaughter's table slowly but surely, getting back into the conventional woodworking stuff.
Yeah. All right. You got the angles figured out?
I think so. I think so. I keep doing design changes as I go along.
Mm,
That's the way it goes.
okay.
I I'm not a good one for drawing up plans and doing it. I just kind of slap it together as I go.
Well, nothing wrong with that, I guess. All right. Well, Mr. Ryan, what's new with you this week?
Oh, I've been just working on a bunch of stuff. I've got well, I haven't run a print on it yet, but I did get the big baby back up and running. My tool head finally came in,
Yeah.
from the U.S. Warehouse of Soval that happens to be in China. So,
Mm-hmm.
yeah,
All right.
took a while for it to get here.
Well, I'm glad to see you got that thing back. You haven't even run a benchy or anything.
I don't run benches.
He's
Never,
a, he's
I know
a,
that. That's why I said that.
never
he's a
ran one.
landlubber.
Never ran one.
I don't know
Never.
what you got against benchies. There's nothing wrong with a good bench.
Like, what? Why would people like? All right, so on
It's
some
all
small,
going to the landfill anyway, eventually. So
that's
what
very
difference?
true. But like, people run the first thing they run on this big. It's a 500 by 500 millimeter bed, and they run this little dinky ass boat on it. You're not running that on that machine. This thing, it'll trip a 15 amp breaker just heating up the bed on that thing. It's like, what are you doing a benchy? Ridiculous, but whatever. But no, I haven't done anything on it yet.
Okay. Well, I hope it goes well when you fire it up for the.
I do. I just got in a bunch of filament. We're going to be doing a giga pop, is what I'm calling it.
Okay.
So
What?
it's one of the gotcha pop little machines up there,
Oh,
but I'm doing it super sized.
Okay. All right. Well, you ought to be able to really supersize it with that thing.
Yeah, it's gonna be able to do a 6-inch ball
Wow.
compared to the 2-inch one that you normally would do.
All right. That'll be cool.
Yeah, it's gonna be big.
The coin's gonna be bigger too.
Oh yeah.
Be like a size of a plate.
Yeah, I think they're about like that big around. Yeah.
Uh, All righty. Well, I'll look forward to that then.
That'll be kind of cool though, because it'll give me some chance to do something fun with the coins. Like on the small ones there, since those were like Pokemon inspired, I did little Pokemon balls on it, and so with this big one, it'll be interesting to do something fun for the coins on it.
Andy wants to know what your stormtrooper is made up of.
It's made up of. Do I have any right here? Oh, I got some back here. Hold on. of trying to remember what the exact amount of them were, but it's these scaled up times 4 Lego pieces. So they're little round posts, but it's whatever 48 times 48 is. What 2,600 and something or other.
Yeah.
Something in 4. I remember the last. It's 2,000 something in 4.
Yeah, Andy, if you haven't watched his video on it, you need to go check it out because he shows how he does the black, I guess the part with the bumps
Yeah,
to put on the wall first, and then he puts all those different colored pieces on there to make the mural. So
yeah. So
Yeah,
I can take them off and put something else on there if I wanted to.
yeah,
yeah, it was quite a project.
Yeah, yeah. It was a lot.
looks good though.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I'd like to. There is a well, they just released a new Star Wars animated show yesterday. But they also do have the Mandalorian and Grogu movie coming out this summer, and so I may take the Stormtrooper down and do something for that movie.
Yeah, it'd be good to change it up once in a while.
Yeah, so that'll be
But
interesting.
when you do something else, will it also have 2,600 and some odd pieces or however many? So it'll always be that size. And
Yeah.
all right,
Yep. So, it's pretty fun.
all righty.
I'll see if I can pull up or I got a link to it that you can go check it out afterwards. Yeah, I'll pull it up here in a second while we're talking.
Okay. All right. Well, I haven't been up to a whole lot. I did got myself a little touch probe cut. That was the first cut I did with the new machine back here. And I didn't make a video of it, although I did make a little reel or short or whatever you want to call it. And it came out perfect, just like I figured it would. And then, of course, a day or two later, I guess it was just yesterday, I installed the tool setter. And of course, it was easy to do because I've already installed one exactly like it on this other machine over here. So it didn't take long at all, and it worked right off the bat. So no issues there. So
hopefully some Masso people watched it.
I don't know if they did. Well, they might have because I always tag them, down below when I do a video, and I know they've seen the little reel that I made of making the touch plate thing because they like that or reacted to it somehow. So, but yeah,
I put it on their Facebook post too.
Oh, okay. Yeah, I always tag them on anything I put out. So, but anyway, I feel pretty good about that new machine back there, but there just might be one little thing missing now. Been kind of thinking about an ATC of some kind, and I thought, well, let's have a discussion about that tonight. So I'm going to tell you, I love AI. I know some people don't like it and all that, but I have really got where I use it a lot.
Yeah.
And you'd be surprised. It all has to do with the prompts you use and stuff like that. But you can ask it something, and it's just like, to me, it's like asking the smartest guy you know. Because you ask it something and it'll give you a big detailed explanation. And then at the bottom of that, it'll say, Or would you like me to tell you about, it just like you're talking to somebody and it makes them think of something else, what you asked before. So you go, yeah, yeah, tell me about that. And then it does another big long thing. And then at the end of it, it'll say, well, would you like me to show you how to do what we just, yeah. And then it just keeps going. So I ended up with a big long thing. And I've got mine set up. Of course, I'm using the Google Gemini. I've got mine set up so that when I do something like that, I don't have to worry about copying and pasting it or something like that. I have mine set up to automatically save it, so I can go back and look through my old uh, prompts, I guess is what it is,
Yeah.
and do it. But anyway, I put in a prompt today, and I can't remember exactly how I worded the prompt, but it was something like, is it worth having an ATC, which for those of you who don't know, we're talking about automatic tool changer. Is it worth having an ATC on a hobby CNC machine? And it didn't disappoint. It spit out a bunch of good points and stuff like that. But I wanted to ask the viewers, whoever we've got watching out there, looks like we got about 33 folks out there right now. Do me a favor and put in the live chat if you have a tool setter, which is this thing like I did the video on yesterday. Do you have a tool setter? And if so, how do you use it? Are you using it with just manual tool changes? Or you do, putting the wrenches on it, swapping tools like that, and then letting it touch off to get the height of the new tool that way? Or are you using it with some kind of an ATC? Whether it be the high dollar ones with the pneumatic, where you got to have the air and it and picks it up and all that stuff, or are you using the more reasonably priced products from like Rapid Change? So put that in the comments for me, and we'll review those. But let me start with you, Paul, my old and wise friend. What would you think about an ATC on a hobby machine?
I would think for someone like you, it would not be a bad idea.
There's nobody like me.
I know it. That's why I said for you.
I'm one of a kind, buddy.
For me, it would be a waste of usable space on my CNC because I don't make that many projects where I have that many bit changes. And while I'm talking, I have a question about your tool setter.
Okay.
What is the purpose of the resistor?
Well, you're getting out of my pay grade here now because I'm not an electronic person. All I know is that with the Masso, I think what it has to do with, that's the wire that you're connecting to the positive voltage, and they want it to pull it down so that there's not too many DC volts going higher than what the Masso is supposed to take.
Oh, okay. That makes sense.
So
Yeah.
that's the best I could figure. But on the tool setter in the video yesterday, you see I had to put two resistors, one on the part of it that does the tool setting part, and then also the one that acts as the safety cycle stop switch. So that if the first one fails and it starts going down too far, it will trip the second one, which enables the cycle stop and will shut it off. But it's something to do with not blowing the Masso up because of putting too high voltage through there. They want it to pull it down.
Well, I can see having a tool setter. I didn't originally understand the reasoning behind it, but now I can see where it'd be a good thing. Um, a, a, a tool changer for me, I don't see any advantage to having it.
Yeah, Tim says the pull-up resistor, that's what they call it, and it says to pull voltage high or low.
You're low. Okay.
So all I know, it was in the wiring diagram on the documentation page on Masso, so I stuck it in there.
They
And I
said put it
also
in.
had to put one on the touch probe too. It has one as well. So I bought a pack of, like, you can see how little these things are. I don't know how many was in there, a pack of 10 or 12,
Well,
something like that. And that's what I've got left because I've used 3 of them over here on this machine and 3 of them over here on this machine. So there's 4 left. Must have been a pack of 10, I guess. But that's what that's for. Let's see what everybody's saying.
Oh yeah.
Mike says he has a rapid change ATC with a separate tool setter. Now I'm assuming you have the the linear magazine. What do you have? Because they didn't make like a 4, 6, and an 8. I think that's what he makes.
And now they actually have one that's modular, so you can have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 20, whatever you want.
right.
Yeah, yeah. Jerry says, shouldn't the tool setter be flush as to not interfere with sheets of material? Well, you can put it however you want it. On this machine over here, I have it where I cut an extra big hole and it's spaced so that it's flush there. So it doesn't get in the way when I put a big sheet on there. But this is so small and I've got specific things I want to do with this machine. And I don't plan on doing any tiling where I'm shoving something through. And if I have to, it's just 2 screws. I could always take it off and move it out of the way and just turn the tool setter off in the controller. So, but yeah, there's no right or wrong way to mount a tool setter as long as your spindle can get to it and knows where it's at. That's the only 2 requirements. A lot of the rapid, well, I won't say a lot of them, but I guess it's an option when you buy the rapid change ATC. You can get it without a tool setter if you've already got one like I've got, or you could get one. He's got one that's built in on the end of it. So um, let's see what else we got over here. Our metric says ATC, no way in a shop machine. Yes, yeah. That's usually the theory of engineering I subscribe to, but I also like to play. And that's one good thing about knowing how to design stuff and make your own. That's part of being a maker. You can make whatever the heck you want, whether it makes sense or not. So let's see. Head CNC around says manually using a bit setter on my Shapeoko code to set C for multiple tool changes. Don't see if a tool setter would be useful unless I was doing more production types of products. Yeah, that's a good point. Where if you're a hobbyist, and that's one of the things my uh, AI spit out over here. It says, first of all, the benefits of why you would want one. Well, it talks about lights out operation. Well, nobody in a hobby shop is going to do that. First of all, you shouldn't. If you've got one in your garage at your house, you shouldn't be setting it up and then going to bed or something. That's not a good thing. But the biggest draw is the automation of it. excuse me, if you have a project that requires 4 different bits, say like a large clearance tool, a detail carver, a V-bit for text, and then a profile cutter, you could set those all up and, hit go, and then it's hands off after that. But if you're doing something that's just a one-off project, like a lot of hobbyists do, they're not doing 10 or 12 or more of a certain thing. So I don't know that it would benefit you really to do that, because really doesn't take that long to change a tool manually once you get the hang of it. Uh, in fact, I had thought about doing a little thing for fun here, but then I came out and I was playing around and I go, well, that won't work, because what I was going to do is I was going to run that little test program showing how the tool setter works, and it has 3 tool changes in it. So I was going to run it and then have it where when it comes up to change the tool, as soon as the spindle stopped, I would immediately hit cycle start without changing the tool and see what the total runtime is that way, and then run it a second time. And then when it comes up, I would actually change the tool and see how much time it added. But I guess I didn't realize this, but on the Masso, when it comes up for a tool change, the timer stops and it doesn't start again until you hit cycle start. So the only way to see how much time I'm adding by actually changing the tools would be to have somebody set a stopwatch or something. But anyway, another thing about now apparently my AI that I'm using when I prompted this question may not know about rapid change, because they're kind of always talking about what I call the more high dollar ATCs, the pneumatic. It says, the drawbacks is the hobbyist reality, and that's the upfront cost, because if you're getting the other kind of ATC, you got to buy the spindle that's made to work with those kind of tool holders.
Mm-hmm.
Then you got to buy a bunch of those tool holders. Then you got to have either the linear rack or a carousel or turret type thing. So you got that expense. And then you got, but a lot of them don't talk about, you also got to have a good air compressor to run. You got to have a big enough one to keep a good supply of air. And it can't just be any air. It's got to be clean, dry air. So now you got to have the different, we call them the little filters and stuff, dryers and all that. So, you're talking about a lot of money. And just for giggles, I looked up our friends over at CNC Labs, and they have their ATC listed on there as a price range of $25.90, and this is US dollars, not Canadian. $25.90 to $33.40, and again, that's not including the air compressor. So a little pricey, at least what I would call pricey. That's not something I would want to spend as a hobbyist. Now, if I was in business and I had a product and I was cranking them out and I knew that was going to save me a bunch of time, that would be a big deal. But for somebody like me that just likes to come out here and piddle, that's way too much money for me to spend. So then I checked the another company that sells them. We all know about PWN CNC. They have a full ATC system, and theirs is listed at $3,100. And if you are upgrading from an existing spindle system, and I assume that means their existing spindle system, it's $2,500. So I don't know if you have to send the other one back, or who knows how they work that stuff. But anyway, $3,100 to $2,500 on that. And again, no mention of the air compressor that you got to have. So you're talking about you're talking about a fair amount of change. And of course,
Mhm.
then you start looking at the rapid ATC, which has kind of been, I hate to use that word, but it's kind of like a game changer for a lot of people because they can get an ATC or an automatic tool changer. Don't have to buy a compressor because it doesn't use one. They can just use the regular spindle, and it's well within reason, if you want to do it. Now, again, a lot of folks that are just hobbyists and aren't really selling any product or anything like that, or even if they're selling one once in a while, it really doesn't make much sense to have any kind of ATC. It's more of a want than a need
Yeah, it's
for
more of a
that.
tool.
And plus, they're cool. Impress neighbor Bob by, hey, come over and check out my tool changer thing here. So that's kind of cool. So anyway, they had a little chart here in this, and it said the workflow type. If you're an artistic, one-off kind of person, is it worth it? No, you're not. Because you're only going to save a few seconds changing tools, and if it's just one thing you're doing, it just doesn't make sense to do it. So, uh, if every piece is unique that you make, the time spent setting up the tool rack for a single run often outweighs the time saved by the auto changer. So it's just not going to save you enough. Now, if you're into small production runs, yeah, then it could well be worth it. If you're selling items like, say, you go to craft fairs and you rent a booth every once a month or however often you go to those things, uh, and you're making a bunch of different things, but making lots of them, then it would probably pay for itself pretty quick. Uh, Obviously, it would take much longer to pay for it if you bought the pneumatic kind, but if you got the rapid ATC kind, wouldn't take too long to do it. And then finally in the chart, it says if you do high precision detail, is it worth it? Maybe. If your work involves 3D carving where tool changes are frequent and zeroing accuracy is critical for a seamless finish, and ATC is a luxury that solves many, many headaches. But then again, really, to me, it's not so much the ATC that's going to give you the zeroing accuracy. That's the tool setter, which you can still do, like I have back here, without an ATC. It's still going to, you're changing it manually, but it's still going to go zero the tool or check the height of it using the tool setter. So anyway, the middle ground alternative, if the price of a full ATC is too steep, many hobbyists find a quick change system or a removable tool probe to be the sweet spot. So that's kind of what I figured when I asked this question. And I already knew the answer, but I always like seeing if they come up with something that I didn't think of. But and then it asked, do you currently find yourself doing projects that require more than 3 tool changes per run? Well, normally when I do stuff, and it's because I've never had a tool changer, but I've always tried to design stuff, or I won't say design it, but program it where I might be using the same bit just so there's no tool changes, but really there would be a better bit that could do a big pocket a lot quicker, but I just leave the small bit in, and even though it takes longer because I don't have to mess with the tool change. So, that's kind of 6 of one, half dozen of another. But the good thing about if you have a tool change, then you can start thinking more about, okay, well, let's figure out how to get the best finish on this part. Because now it's like, well, I don't want a tool change, so I'm just going to leave this other tool in, even though it's really not the right tool for the job. Then then you could set up the tools in your tool changer and really do it the way it should be. So that's something to consider too. So Mitch says, do you set active high or low on the tool setter? It's in its default state, it's low, and it goes high when it's triggered. Okay, Mike says he's got an 8-tool linear magazine. Sweet. Also using the Masso G3 Touch. Even sweeter.
Very cool.
All right. It says he tried to communicate with Daniel. He kind of blew me off. That's Daniel at Daniel Heath Morin. I don't know why people use 3 names. 2's plenty. But I don't think I would. I don't think I know any more than one Daniel Morin, so that would have been fine. But anyway, he always uses 3 names. But yeah, that's the PWN CNC guy.
Like John Wilkes Booth.
Right.
Yeah. Well, that's what I think of, because every time there's some kind of a serial killer or an assassin, it's always the 3 names. So I'm like, why is your middle name so important that you got to put it on everything like that? We're not going to confuse you with any other Daniel Morris. I don't know. Let's see. Harry says, I can see a 2-tool job. That's hard to say. A 2-tool job, but not much more than that. I still think a dual spindle is worth it because you can rough and finish or running gang for 2 times the cutting. Yeah, but you also got to remember when you have the dual heads, you only got half the work area most of the time. So I don't know how easy those things are to take off, but
well, that's what I was working on.
Everything has its purpose,
Oh yeah, I was working on a dual design with my Gatton CNC, and I ended up just I was having problems trying to get everything to line up, to do the offsets and all that, and I just was like, I got frustrated with it and just took it apart. But that was pretty cool because it was actually hanging off the back of the gantry, so you could actually use, like, my bed on my Gatton CNC is it's 6 feet long, but I couldn't, but with the regular one motor on it or spindle, I couldn't cut a whole 5 foot, and that was what I really wanted to do. So I was hoping that I could use it to cut that, but whatever.
Yeah, Parametric says, I have a simple shop machine tool change solution that will never crash out. I'm assuming he's talking about wrenches.
Yep.
Speaking of wrenches, why is it that whenever you buy a new spindle, I don't care who you buy it from, anytime you buy a new spindle, or at least from Amazon, I guess I should say, maybe the other people don't. When you buy one from Amazon, it doesn't matter what seller you get a wrench for the ER20, which is great that they include that, but they never include the 22 millimeter that you need, because one wrench don't cut it. You can't do nothing with one wrench. You got to have one of these. So now this is the one that I've had bought right after I bought that spindle, which it was the same way. It had the big one. I don't know what this is, 30 millimeter or something. I don't even know. It had this one, but it didn't have this one. So I had to order this one separately. And of course now I've got another one, and instead of having to go back and forth using this one, I ordered another one. It'll be here tomorrow from Amazon. But why they don't give you the, I mean, how much? It's $8.99 on Amazon. Just throw it in, or charge $8.99 more or something. But give you both wrenches. It just don't make sense to just give you the one, because you can't do squat with just one.
Yep.
So, let's see. Jerry's got a good point. Y'all better get after it, y'all. 40 watching, only 19 likes.
Well,
maybe they don't like us.
Yeah, maybe not. Well, give us a thumbs down then. Hit the thumbs down if you don't like it. I don't care.
Well, Dave, you didn't ask me what I thought about the tool changers, but I'm going to tell you anyway.
Okay.
I think they're cool. They're fun. For most people, it's completely not necessary, but they're interesting. If you like toys, it's a fun toy. So,
I like toys.
yeah, I do too. Like that. That's why I would like to have one, is because I like toys. But it's not something I absolutely need.
Yeah. Well, most of the people I watch on YouTube that are doing videos on their take on the rapid change, they don't need one.
No.
They just wanted one.
Yeah.
And they're cool to watch, and of course I think some of the people get them so that they can jump on the bandwagon and design other things. Like I've seen one guy that I've been trying to get him to come on the show. I hope I can get him on here pretty soon. But he's done a lot of work prototyping a dust shoe where he's got like a docking station, so he can take the spindle and move it over, and then when he raises it up, it pops the dust shoe off, or somehow it sets on the docking station. Then he goes and does the tool changes with his rapid ATC, and then when he's all done, it comes back over and swings back in there and picks up the dust boot again. Because that is a problem with the ATCs, is getting a dust shoe that's effective and able to work with those things. Because when you see them on YouTube and they're demonstrating the rapid change, for example, it works great, and then you think, well, yeah, when they go to cut something, it's going to make a mess. I guess they have to bring it over to a spot and park it while you slip the dust boot on or something. I don't know how that works,
but then that negates the whole reasoning for having.
Yeah, because now you've then lost those seconds that you gained by having to put the dust shoe on, or even if you're
interacting with the machine when you've got an automatic tool changer, so you don't have to interact with the machine.
Yeah. So I don't know. They're kind
Russ
of cool.
Meadows says you don't keep your toys that long.
I do like to swap toys around. That's for sure.
Yeah.
I do like to do that. It's because I guess I've, it's like squirrel.
Yep.
I get so distracted and I get bored with something after. Once I've done everything I can do to it, there's no challenge left. I got to find something else. That's kind of why I was thinking that technically this is normally how I would have everything on the machine. A touch probe, tool setter. Don't really need much anything else. But I thought, I keep looking at all this space back here. I say all, it's, this is not a big machine. But, you can't reach back here. Now, I've got this tool setter sitting on, these are about 25 inches. So I'm losing at least 2 inches here, which you might as well say it's all the way across, because this has got to be able to reach this.
Yep.
So, you know, it's there. Well, I've also got all this other room that doesn't do anything. So I keep thinking that a really nice carousel or turnstile would look good right here. Where when it spins, it's dropping off and picking the tool up here. You know, it would drop a tool off, come up, the thing would spin, and then it would come down and load the next tool.
Mm-hmm.
And then when it come up, and it's only got to go just a short distance here to hit the tool setter, and then off it goes. So, you know, obviously I don't want to spend the bucks for, in fact, I don't even know where I would find one. I'd have to probably really spend some big money trying to find a carousel or a turret style, because I don't think PWN or CNC Labs, I don't think any of those sell it. They're all selling the rack style, you know, that kind of thing. And that's not what I want. I want the turret style. So I guess when you can't find one that you can afford to buy anywhere, you just have to design your own. So that may be something that I work on off and on for the next who knows how many months. But I may do that. Yeah, Rusty, saying one of my favorite sayings: "It's only money you can make more." Yeah, and you can't take it with you either. So got to spend it. But anyway, I thought about something else today too, and let me throw this by. Let's see, we got about 40 folks in here.
Mm-hmm.
You know, I did kind of a really basic, and this is going out to the people who have purchased the plans and have access to that section of the website where they see these build videos of this thing. But I kind of did a very basic video because I had one or two people ask me about you know, the part of the build that scares everybody is not so much the mechanic part, because I really made that easy. But the part when it comes down, okay, now I got to put together a controller of some kind. So I did kind of a basic thing because, you know, I got all kinds of parts. I've got over there in my drawers, I've got probably a dozen stepper motors and 3 or 4 stepper drivers and all different kinds of stuff. So I pulled out a power supply and a stepper driver and a stepper motor, and kind of went through, because whether you got a 3 or 4 axis machine or whatever, it's the same wiring for each one. You just do it once and then repeat it 3 more times for 4 axis machine.
Yeah.
But so I kind of did the basic thing there. And of course, when it comes time to show people how to get it to interact with their software, that's where it's really tough for me to try to show people what to do, because I don't know, or do I care, what kind of software they use. If they want to use Gerbil, have at it. If they want to use Mach 4, Mach 3, have at it. UC CNC, great. I don't care what you use, but the wiring of the steppers, drivers, the stepper motors, all the point going up to the, in my case, Masso, or if you're using one of the others, maybe a breakout board, it's all going to be pretty much the same. Now, in that video, I did have an old, it's usually advertised on Amazon as a Mach 3, they call it a Mach 3 controller. It looks just like a breakout board. Let's see, I probably still got it over here handy somewhere. Well, it'll be in the last drawer I pull out.
Of course it will be.
Where the heck did I put it?
I'm
For
getting ready
Pete's
to throw
sake.
this chair out a window.
Ah, here it
I'm
is.
gonna have to take my chair to the upper floor just so I can throw it out of a window.
All right, here's the one that I used. And if this looks familiar, you've probably seen it back in the old days when I had I called it my demo board. It was
Yeah.
just a piece of plywood, and I had drivers and power supplies and breakout boards or controller boards and all this kind of stuff on there. But I've since dismantled that, and actually the board ended up in the fire pit, so it's ashes now. But this is what I use, and then I actually connected it to this computer using Mach 3 and showed it in that video. But again, it's going to be pretty much the same, but maybe a little bit different depending on what control software you're using. And one of the things when I designed these machines, same thing with the old Gatton CNC, the plywood one. I really didn't care what you wanted to use to run it. If you wanted to use Mach 3, Mach 4, UC6, I don't care. Whatever software, if you've run something before or whatever fits your budget or whatever, I don't care. They'll all work, you know. So that's kind of the way I am with this. I didn't want to kind of say, okay, well, you got to use this. I didn't want to specify any kind of thing. Because if I did, I'd specify a G3 Masso Touch, and everybody goes, Dave, you're crazy. You built a budget type machine, and now you got a really pricey controller. But
That
it is the
costs.
best in the business as far as I'm concerned. But like I said, I don't care what you run it with, uh, and I will do my best to help anybody that needs help once they get it to the point where they're getting to the wiring and they're having trouble maybe trying to figure out how to put the homing switches on there or how to get the drivers and the stepper motors wired and all that kind of stuff. Uh, I will do my best to help anybody not get stuck at that point and get you where you can get the thing making chips, because that's the whole point of doing this. Todd says, I'm not a big fan of the company myself, but they do have a carousel, ATC Rapid Chip. Well, I have contacted Don, and I know they have. I think I think there's two videos on YouTube. One is, I think, a short, and the other one is a video of a carousel type, and he's got it where it's on kind of like on the corner of the machine, the front corner, and it swings around and does the tool change and then swings back. And so, but it's not for sale anywhere on the Rapid ATC thing. And when I contacted Don, I think it's still pretty much in the prototype stages. I think he has one on a machine that he plays around with in his shop, but I don't think it's on the market yet. Yeah, they are. Yeah, there are different tier levels. They have the core level, which is, I don't know, I want to say 600 or 700. The premium is 900, and then they have the professional, which is I think about 1,500. I guess I could go on their website and look. And then they have one that's even more crazy than that. That's even higher than that, I think.
Super
But
Pro.
but I can tell you, they are worth it. They are worth it. I've used a lot of different stuff over the years. Of course, everybody knows I'm a long time Mach 3 user, but I also would buy other stuff like UCCNC and different kinds of stuff just to use so that I could talk about it during the show, because like when people would ask me, well, what about this? If I hadn't used it, I didn't know anything. So I always like to buy it and use it, and so I know what I'm talking about when I'm talking about it. But okay, advanced. There's one 1400. Yeah, so they got the core, premium, advanced, and okay, professional. I guess is the top dog, and I think it's around 15. I think, um, but but yeah, they're of all the things I used, and then that's using the old Masso, second generation. That thing's 9 going on 10 years old, and I still would rather run that, even as old as it is, than I would any of the other things other than a G3 Masso Touch. That's how good I think they are. And if you don't agree with me, that's fine. I'm not going to argue with it. Go use whatever you want. I don't care. But I know this guy's going to be using a Masso. So, all right. How we doing on time? We about used it all up here. Tell you what, we got 40. Oh, it just changed. 44 watching. We might as well see if we can do our little random drawing here. Let's see what we. Oh. Just kidding. Just kidding. Dave hit the wrong button.
Womp womp.
Okay, now we're down to 2. All right, hashtag Gatton CNC in the comments. We'll let it give you all an opportunity to put that in there. And then we'll do a random drawing for a gift certificate that you can use at the Cadence Manufacturing and Design website to purchase some dadgum genie awesomeness.
Yes.
I'm going to tell you. If y'all happen to watch the short that I did, let me see if I can find it. Oh, I can't play it because it's got copyright music, so I better not play it. But yeah, when I did the short, I put, well, it's actually still in here. This is the 1/4-inch O-flute. And he sent me, well, I bought 2 of the 1/4-inch, and then Cody sent me 2 of the 1/8 inch because they hadn't come out yet. And he says, well, you can be a beta tester on the 1/8 inch. But this 1/4-inch O-flute, the other one's still in the package. I haven't unwrapped it. So that one has cut not only my touch plate right there for this machine, but it cut all the aluminum parts that you see on this machine with that O-flute. And it's changed color down at the bottom a little bit, so some of the coating is off, but it still cuts like butter. It really works good. So if you are building one of the Gatton CNC 2.0s and you're going to need to cut some aluminum for these plates, definitely go check out Cody's O-flutes over there at Cadence Manufacturing and Design, because they are the bomb. They are the bomb. So. All right, looks like we got.
Did you oil with the O-flute? Jerry's asking.
I have not. I have not. I run it dry, and when you don't see it in the video because I make sure I don't do it when the video's recording, but I also have my shop vac, so I'm trying to keep the chips cleared with the shop vac. I've tried, you might have seen it, I have a little thing that I made and put on that spindle, and then I got out that little pump that came with one of the, 10-watt lasers or something, and I hooked that up and maxed it out, and it blows. but it really doesn't blow hard enough. I need something. If I'm going to run air, I need something to run a little more now. Now I have just taken some WD-40 and kind of sprayed it all over the top of the material
Mhm.
before I started, so that helps some. But I'm telling you, those O flutes will eat it up. They really go through that stuff. So,
Heck yeah.
all right. Well, we've lost one, so I guess we'll go ahead and cycle this thing off and see who our lucky winner is today. So, good luck, everybody. And here we go.
Here we are. Here we are. Here we are. Here we are. Who's it gonna be? Who's it gonna be? Oh,
Earl Walker. And if I'm not mistaken, Earl is our first two-time winner because wasn't he like the first winner when we first started doing it? I think he was. First or second, something like that. So congratulations, Earl, on winning again. Get you some more Genie Bit awesomeness.
Keep that rabbit's foot where it's at.
And I should have, since you already won that first or second time, whenever it was, I should have your email in my records there. So I'll get that sent off here and get you that next one. So, all right.
Very good.
Good deal. All right. Well, I guess that's going to do it for tonight. So if you're interested in seeing how a turret style tool change thingy comes from here to there, well, stay tuned. I missed that. What was this?
Harry was saying that IPA is okay for clearing chips, but he has a hard time keeping Indian Pale Ale around.
Oh, yeah.
Beer joke.
Okay, so I see Earl saying something about his other one. Did you not ever get the other one? Where did I see it? Oh, here it is. Yeah, and I'll get a hold of Cody to get the other one too. Yeah, because it's paid for. And I'm sure if you get a hold of him, he can look. I wouldn't wait too much longer though, because it's been a minute. Get a hold of Cody and get him to check it. And if you need the date, I can look up exactly when it was. But it's been a while. It's been several weeks ago now, I think. But yeah, it's paid for. So I hope you get it from him. So, all right. Well, I guess we'll get out of here then. Paul, you got any famous parting words here?
Nope.
I can't believe you haven't said anything at all about Michigan winning the championship.
What a game. That was just a phenomenal basketball game. And UConn played a good game too. They were hot, but Michigan, they played a beautiful game.
Yeah. Well, let me tell you the story about the championship game. I'm sitting here texting you, going "Go Blue" and all this, helping you root for them. And then I thought, I'm gonna settle in and watch that. I may watch part of it and then go to bed and watch the other part of it back there. I got ready to watch that thing. Every time I go to watch a championship game, same thing with the football thing. The football championship game was on Peacock Network. Well, Fubo is who I have my streaming service. They had a contract dispute with Peacock, so they quit carrying them. So I had to sign up with Peacock for a trial month or whatever it was, a week or whatever, and pay for the 1 month just so I could watch that stupid championship football game. Well, I went to look for the basketball game and I couldn't find it anywhere. And I'm like, what the heck network is it on? And it was on like TBS or
PBS and TNT.
yeah. And I'm like, Fubo don't carry
I,
them.
I think it was on, was it Peacock or Paramount? One of
I
those.
don't know, but I decided I'll just have to live vicariously through Paul and have him tell me about it if it was good, because I am not
Oh,
not
it
gonna.
was a great game.
Yeah. Well, there were some good. I didn't watch all of March Madness, but I did watch a few here and there were some good ones. But yeah, I'm over sports. You know, it's kind of like professional sports now because they all get paid. Uh,
Yeah,
so it's not as
yeah,
much
they
fun
do.
to watch them as it used to be. So I decided I wasn't going to pay for a month of some service that I didn't need just to watch that stupid game. So I just went on to bed and said the heck with it. So, all righty then, Ryan, you got anything you want to talk about before we get out of here, or is he
He
froze?
froze.
All right, we got.
Ryan, are you froze?
I think he is.
I think he's froze, or he fell asleep.
Let's see, well, let's do this then. We don't have it. Oh, yeah, we've lost his camera.
Yeah,
Go check it
join
out.
us on Saturday night,
Yeah,
9
Saturday
o'clock.
night, 9 p.m. Eastern. Go check him out. Maybe he won't get froze and you'll see more than, oh, we don't even see the top of his head now. So, all righty. Well, that's going to do it for me. If anybody's got anything they'd like to see me do a video on, um, and I may, because I've still got lots of stuff back there. If there are more questions about wiring, stepper motors and steppers and all that, I may make another demo board or something. Maybe we'll do that live during the show here or something. Do some wiring on that stuff. So it's not like everything else. I always say it's not rocket science, but you know, if you haven't ever done it before, you don't know where to start. And you start to look up information, and there's so many things that are conflicting. So I've done it enough now. I know how to do it without being too confusing. So maybe we'll do that one night during the show then. All right. Well, I guess we're out of here. I don't know if Ryan will be back or not. He may be out for the count. So good night, everybody, and we will see y'all next week.